Hey everyone, so I'm back again with another video. I want to do the imperfect at a glance. I'm going to use this book right here. It's my book, but it's the quick guide to Spanish verb tenses. And it's a workbook with activities like, this is the answer key, but I'm just opening up. Actually, coincidentally, I opened up to the imperfect. But we're actually going to go over the imperfect at a glance, which is a verb tense in Spanish using examples from this book. There will be a link to purchase it. There'll probably be a QR code in the video, but let's get started. So if you've studied Spanish for a little while, you know that there's something called verb tenses and conjugation. So what is a verb tense? A verb tense tells us when an action took place. So if I'm walking right now, estoy caminando, that's happening in the present progressive. But if I went for a walk yesterday, I walked yesterday, that's the past tense. English and Spanish both have tenses, and the tense we're going to go over today is the imperfect tense. The imperfect tense is a past tense used to describe descriptions or to give descriptions in the past. It's not used for actions. Nothing happens when we use the imperfect tense. So things like age, weather, repeated or habitual past actions, age, weather, repeated habitual past actions, time, and what else? Age, weather, habitual past actions, time, weather. Oh, I have the book. I can just check. Age, weather, time, and emotional states. Also, we can include two actions happening at the same time. So simultaneous past actions also trigger the imperfect. So something that you need to know about verb tenses is they have their own conjugations. So just like we conjugate in English, and all of this is covered in this book. Chapter 1 is just the concept of conjugation and present tense verbs. So you can see that there. And it just explains what an infinitive is. In English, that's the to plus base form, like to walk, to talk. And then when we conjugate it, I walk, he walks. Those are English conjugations, and it goes over those concepts. But the imperfect tense has its own conjugations in Spanish, where we take the AR, ER, or IR ending off an infinitive verb, and then we add the appropriate endings for the type of verb. For example, ER and IR verbs use EI endings, and AR verbs use ABA endings. I'm going to put a little graphic somewhere in here, somewhere for you guys, so that you guys can see that. And it's going to be broken down. So now that I've put somewhere in the screen the conjugations, I want to explain the differentiation between, or the difference, that's a better way to say it, the difference between an action in the past and a description. So a description is like the car was blue. There's no action to do blue. Era carro azul. Era carro azul. Era carro azul. Like, it was a blue car. There's nothing happening when we say that. Or, for example, when I say something like, cuando yo era niño, when I was a boy, I'm not doing anything. It was just a description of what I was. Versus, ayer comí, or what is it? Yo boté la basura. I threw out the trash. Whatever sentence you want to do. If there's an action happening and it's one time, we can say it's preterite. But every description in the past is going to be imperfect. So ask yourself when trying to decide whether to use the imperfect or the preterite. Is this a description? Here's a few questions we can ask ourselves when we're trying to decide between the two. First, is it one of the guaranteed uses of the imperfect? Age in the past, weather in the past, descriptions in the past, time in the past, and age, weather, descriptions, time. I always forget one of them. It doesn't matter how many times I've done this, I always forget one. Age, weather, time. I'm going way too far. Age, weather, time, and repeated past action. That's what it was. So if it's one of those, then we know to use the imperfect. And then ask ourselves, did something happen? Not repeatedly, did something happen? If the answer is no or repeatedly, then it's the imperfect. If something happened, you might be looking at the preterite. Yeah, that's really it. So let's take an example from this book. I'm trying to keep this video short, sweet, and to the point, because if I don't, it's really annoying. But let's take example 1. One of the exercises has you translate from English to Spanish and then Spanish to English. But when I was 10 years old, I played soccer. Now, when I was 10 years old, automatically we know that that is a description, and it's one of the ones that falls always in imperfect, which is age. So, cuando tenía 10 años, I played soccer. Now, that might sound like an action. I played soccer. I played soccer. But it's not, because it's a repeated past action. I didn't play soccer once. I continuously played soccer. I habitually played soccer. So, yo jugaba fútbol. And that's it. In the back of the book, you can also find the answer key. Let's see if I can find the answer key for this particular one. I opened to it in the beginning. Yeah, cuando tenía 10 años, jugaba fútbol. So you can see the answers in the video, and this book is just designed to quickly put you through your paces when it comes to verb tenses. So, for example, if you studied before, but you're like, man, like I could use more work, I could use more help. I absolutely love, I mean, I wrote it, but still, I love how this will make you use what you learned. So they've got chapters on the imperfect, the subjunctive, how to use acronyms like weirdo. And then you've got not only the answer key in the back, but also the glossary. So, where is it? Haha. So we've got a glossary here as well. And then left with space that it's got the translation, but you can also write your own notes, etc. So that's a quick rundown of the imperfect at a glance. It takes a lot of time to start building that division in your mind of, okay, is this a description or an action? But once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. This book's available on Amazon, as well as several of my other books that I've written. One specifically for the subjunctive, another one for specifically B1 skills, B2 skills. I mean, there's a lot of them. But the idea is that you put into practice what you're learning in your classes. If you're studying, if you found this video, obviously you're studying Spanish. And then you kind of sharpen up, you tighten up that skill set. So please give this video a like, share it. No, that's the subjunctive. This link will be in the description. Please go ahead, pick yourself up a copy, do yourself a favor. This covers literally every verb tense with exercises, explanations, different ways to use passive voices, I'm pretty sure conditionals, statements, verb tenses, everything you need to really make sure you're touching your bases. All right, I'm gonna leave the video there. I think I went over my aim time of 10 minutes anyways, but I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Ciao.